This is Ampe, as it is called in the Ghanaian local parlance. It is a game for girls and has all the elements of entertainment and competition to go with. Girls line up facing each other. A group scores by being able to match legs of the opposing team, while the other also scores points when there's a mismatch of legs. And what about this? I'm sure you got it right. That is Tumatu, another local game in Ghana, which requires physical movements in a competitive but entertaining mood. For those who have had a shot at both, there may be every reason to reminisce and to want to relive the experience. And there are many more of such games which very much remind us of our individual childhood and how much fun we may have had in times past playing them. For instance, Owari. Still in the past, this is the popular Amina Shemiatari game, which was a favorite for many Ghanaian children. Amina Shemiatari. But do you see children of today patronizing these games as your generation and the ones before did? Well, there's a certain general feeling that traditional Ghanaian society games may be losing ground to foreign ones.
We haven't thought it important to collect the games that have been indigenously devised and to hand them over through the formal educational system so that we pass them on formally. And because of that, if you look at the wall of most industries, you've got a teddy bear, you've got Humpty Dumpty on the wall, you've got all these other people's traditions.
I am actually very disappointed with respect to how we have actually handled these our folk games. We have not done pretty well, in helping to promote them and project them. Given the situation as it is, if we do not take care, in the next 2 decades, most of the games will be lost. They will be gone. We will not even get to know what games we had in our system. And that will be pretty sad, for us as a people.
But is this the case that we derived nothing out of these games, for which reason they seem not to be as popular as was the case in times past?
We learn to count, by through games. You learn to think through games. If you take a game like Owari, it's very taxing to the mind. If you're not strategic, you'll always lose an Owari game. So strategy is important. So it's building up all of these skills for life.
The good side of our traditional games, as I said earlier, is that first of all, it gives you a real context that you can develop your social skills for interaction, skills for communication, because even when children are playing, they are communicating verbally and also non-verbally. So the idea of timidity, people now, they are equals, okay? So in the home, maybe daddy has been shouting at you, mommy has been shouting at you, maybe you feel you are not expressing yourself, but in the group you express yourself, so you assert yourself and all that. And even there we find people who develop leadership skills.
So who is to blame here? Parents, schools, communities, or the elderly?
Social change is bound to occur. Technology is driving this world so fast, and we may be here and reminisced about the past, but it is something that we cannot stop. Okay, I know parents or people like me will say that this increasing use of computer and others actually create this problem. but do we have the capacity to stop it? For example, in the homes now, television stations just bring anything out. You are not at home, your children are watching anything. And then we actually worry. But the rhythm of life is such that you as a parent, you may not even be there to be policing your children all the time. Yes, I think we should worry, to the extent that the social skills and all these things that I've talked about that are needed for our interaction, we are losing out, you see, and increasingly we are becoming more and more isolated, taking comfort in gadgets.
I think that policy making at all levels, so if you're in a church, you have policy, if you're in a media house, you have policy, and so on. So we need to break that down, all the way down, and ensure, if you are a chief, you have a festival, a 1-week festival. Why not have a day where you celebrate the games from your area, the men, what they used to do, the boys, the girls, and so on. And so I think that at every level, if everybody made a little bit of an effort to be deliberate about this, to say a conscious policy that we are going to infuse this into what we do, this situation will soon change.
Ghana Education Service and Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts to really, go out of their ways, go one step further to really, help, first of all, assemble all these traditional games, create competitions among schools, among localities, among sub-metros, among ethnic groups.
Somehow, the socialization process seems to have gone quiet on that. But today's children are easily getting by, feeding heavily on what technology presents. Some may argue that their form of games make them smarter than those of the previous generations who had to settle for the traditional games.
When you want to enjoy your children together is to get involved in indigenous games, which you are dealing with items in our environment and you are involving your children. Okay, so when you expose children to these games on smartphone, you're actually losing them, because at that time your attention is not on them. Their attention is not on children. Recently, there was a study that indicates that children that are actually involved in video games or computer games in more than an hour a day are less likely to obey their parents.
Our next piece will attempt analyzing these modern games and the difference they are offering the children of today, which their parents did not benefit from.